Started learning English, it was always vocabulary. And even at you're at a good level now, there's always words you don't know, okay? But the trickiest one, and the one that people have difficulty with when they move out of their own country and they come into the place where we speak it as a native language, is idioms and slang. And that's, for example, what this is mainly trying to teach them. Okay? All of the words that you see here that are in bold letters are idioms and slang. So this is stuff that is not in your dictionary. You can't translate it easily, right? Google Translate doesn't work well with idioms, okay? And we also talk about false friends. Are you guys familiar with false friends? No. No? So I'll give you an example. When I first went down to meet my wife's family, and my mother-in-law, she's a lovely lady, but she met me, and the first thing she said was, "Que albino." It was the first thing. She saw me and she said, "Que albino." Now, in English, albino has the same meaning. Right? So that's not a false friend. That's a direct translation, and it works in both languages. All you change is the pronunciation. Right? And the same thing, like you say pronunciación and we say pronunciation, but it's the same word. Right? But sometimes it doesn't help you. For example, I went and met my grandmother-in-law, and I wanted to say that I was embarrassed that my Spanish wasn't very good. And I said, "Yo soy embarazado." And she looked at me like this, "What?" Because of course it doesn't have the same meaning in Spanish. That's a false friend.
Oh, okay.
It's where you look at a word and you think, "Oh, I know what that means. I got it. That word's friendly to me." But it's false, it's fake, it's not true. Because pregnant and embarrassed are not the same, right? Luckily, my grandmother-in-law is a very nice woman, and she still reminds me of that every time I see her. Okay, so we talk a lot about idioms and slang. We also talk about false friends, and for that part is going to change from country to country, as you asked about nationality, right? For example, the Koreans don't have a lot of false friends with English. No. Because the languages are so different, they just don't see a lot of words that are similar.
Do you remember one?
Well, they would have something that, you guys, of course, you've heard the term Spanglish before, right? They have Konglish, where it's an English word that maybe they've taken from a movie or from TV or something, and they use it, but they don't use it the same way we do. Right? So that's not really a false friend. That's similar. It's a similar idea, though. It's a word that they use, but we don't use it. Okay, so that's something that we often talk about. But you know what? That stuff you could get from Google. You could get that stuff on YouTube, and a lot of students do, right? So what I want to show you guys today is what we do that's different. And what we do is we talk about things like linking, and we talk about reduction. Okay? And so we talk about those, and we also talk about rhythm. So we're going to take a couple of these sentences, and I'm going to show you how I demonstrate those things to the students. Okay? So just so you are familiar with it, with your neighbor, can you read maybe the first, let's say, we'll just read to here. Just read that much there.
Okay.
So the opening sentence, Andre quiero Andre. So just read that much with your neighbor. Okay, so can you just read it together? Just that much. Be sure, a group of three is fine. Sometimes we'll work in groups of 2 or groups of 3. It's whatever you're comfortable with.